looking up to me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion. Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, let's go. I don't care what they all say. That's right, I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay, we work hard, then we all play. Yeah, I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right, so I refuse to waste time, man. Yeah, one day it all will be fine, man. Let's go. Gotta commit to the climb. You know we're back with the Guinness, setting records every minute, every track. In addiction to the fact that we're winning, still we lack something's missing. Need a track that is hitting, making racks, making millions. Oh, yeah. You ask, that's the mission. Yeah. I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR podcast here with our two other hosts, as always, Matt Tucker and Peyton Tillock. What's going on, fellas?
What up, Ronnie?
You're on Ronnie.
Not much, man. All right, let's just jump right into it because we got 2 weeks of absolute roughness to talk about for NEXXTCAR. 2 weeks ago, we went racing at the classic track of Rockingham. Well, it proved to be its test for the Truck Series and Cup Series.
Yeah. The next car the last couple weeks hasn't really been the cleanest racing, I will say. You've had a lot of beating and banging last week for sure at Pocono. We both series were a lot of give, no take. So but we all figured it out. And Peyton can say that I don't know if this has been the first sweep of a Truck Cup, but we need to start keeping these stats. But I think Ronnie Norman probably did it back a couple of seasons ago. But congratulations to Peyton, though, on getting a natural daily double or a weekly double of wins. So we can say that Peyton's now the next Denny Hamlin of Pocono domination. So I don't know if you want to be compared to that, Peyton, but I'll start that trend for you.
He's got a championship though.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's not Hamlin. So
yeah. Go ahead.
Not to skip a week, Tuck, but yeah, Rockingham was pretty interesting. At short track racing, it is obviously an older track, so it's a bit of a more rough surface, and that definitely caused a little bit of problems and stuff. But like Tuck said, sure, it's been a little more aggressive lately. We got guys, I don't know if we're starting to get a little desperate for playoffs or what it may be, but you can definitely tell the patience is a little lower than it was at the beginning of the season, and these guys are going for it. So I think Rockingham, like that energy because of how that track is, kind of carried over a little bit to Pocono, and I think that's what ended up happening. But yeah, I mean, we had two absolutely like definitely exciting races at Rockingham, and then we followed it up this week at Pocono.
Yeah, absolutely. The excitement got kicked off at Rockingham at the drop of the green flag, man. The green flag dropped, and then just Jonathan Duncan, man. I don't know if what was it that was so hard about them restarts? Because the Cup Series didn't have the amount of issues that you saw in the Truck Series. Because man, the trucks are struggling.
I think with the way the track surface was, I don't know if the trucks were just it just wouldn't like grip on the starts. Like you had to be like extra careful, like getting through the gears and getting up. From my perspective at least, that was the case. But yeah, that first start, because Jonathan was in our chat and he goes, "Oh no, that's not good." So so it was a rough beginning, but we all figured it out. But he did redeem himself. He got his first NEXXTCAR win in the Cup Series the following night. So that was big for him and big for our team too.
Absolutely. And I mean, Peyton, you had a shot at going to victory lane at Rockingham. You had a great little battle with, your teammate Dustin Bloodworth, and then it came down to JD Larson, you guys battling there in the closing laps. But man, them cautions, they were killer for you.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't do the podcast last week, because talking about this Rockingham race, I've been pretty upset about it still, because that race, it's hard to lose a race like 3 times in one race, but that's what it felt like. I mean, we're talking about had the race won and just yellow after yellow of, after I pull away, we rack him back up. I was just trying to get to that white flag and never could get there. And I mean, like you said, I mean, then you start getting fast tires, and JD got up there and had a shot, and then after all the drama and stuff, Christopher Pendel comes back through in fresh tires and ends up grabbing the win. So, yeah, I'm glad that we're off of that one, because that race is kind of one that's like coulda, shoulda, woulda, I guess.
I will say this though, Pendle did deserve that victory after what had happened. So because if there was not a yellow, he was going to win, and if he did not get spun out, he also would have probably won too. So
I'm not going to say he would have won if he didn't get spun out. It's going to be a heck of a battle. Because
Right.
Peyton was catching him.
Peyton was catching.
Peyton was catching him at a
Peyton-
pretty good
Peyton-
rate.
Peyton was on like what 15, 20
Yeah.
lap pressure tires.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was. I think it. I don't know if it stalled out because it was what 5 to go and you were like 1.7 back,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, the unfortunate incident that got Pendle taken out. So, but no, I think him winning's good. We've had a lot of new guys. All the new guys that have came in and had success. So I know Vernon has some good runs and gotten a few polls. Jonathan on my team, he's gotten that win. Rockingham and
Tuck, where'd
Pendle
the
got
sun go?
I don't know. My blinds are blinds are shut.
You got dark real quick.
Yeah, I know it's like Talladega
like,
season opener. So yeah, so I don't know. We're figuring this out as we go, Ronnie. We had a week off, so we're just going. So
yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it, Pendle 100% earning that, and you mentioned how the new guys are coming in and immediately getting things started off on the right note. And Frank Hughes is another one. He got that win at Vegas in the Cup Series. A lot of these new guys are coming in, and it's great to see immediately bringing more competition to the veterans of NEXXTCAR.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that started the season off extremely strong that are, just brand new. Like we just talked about Pendle, like me and him had the best 2 trucks at Rockingham, and we're going to have a fierce battle. He ends up getting it done. Frank Hughes won Vegas in a pretty convincing fashion, and heck, he was really good at Rockingham until he got caught up in a Lonnie Wiggins bad restart. Rockingham restarts were definitely interesting, but anywho, but yeah, like there's guys that have came in here and instantly, like, I don't know if it's them jumping up to the level of the NEXXTCAR vets or what, but they came in here, saw how quick we were, and said, all right, we can do this, and jumped up. So the competition's really fierce this year. I mean, you've got guys who have been fast in here, and they've actually struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season with the new guys. So that playoff line we talked about, I mean, 16 guys seems like a lot, but it already seems like there's going to be a lot of good guys and miss the playoffs due to all the speed in the league this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and let's shift things over to last week at Pocono on the Truck Series. Man, that first half before the stage break, the racing was fantastic. And then the stage break hit and a switch was flipped.
yeah, the truck race was very. I don't want to say that the Cup and truck race were different in some way, but in both races it seemed like the first stage was just tame. Like there was a lot of we got spread out. Like we weren't like all battling really hard, and in the beginning of it, because I know me and I forget trucks. We had broken away for a good bit, but I think Peyton got stuck behind Cat. I think he was holding that lineup, but anyway, I think we only had that one early caution, and then I think we went almost a full green flag run to the stage end for both series. So I think and after the stage breaks were over, it was just all chaos after that. There's really no other words to put that. We were all just driving kind of over our heads in both the trucks and Cup with that. But Peyton was the victor though. So you gotta give him props that he survived all the madness that was Pocono for NEXXTCAR last week.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it. A lot of guys, driving over their head, and obviously that led to a lot of changes that were made rule-wise and warnings being handed out. And let's talk about that real quick. So the first incident you cause, not a big deal. You just go to the back of the line. Then the second one is a drive-through penalty with an EOL, and then the third one is you're parked for the night. So got to clean some things up. Obviously, yeah, I know Pocono, Rockingham, and then tomorrow night we're heading to Watkins Glen, so 3 very tough race weeks in a row for everybody, but got to clean some things up and get people back to the racing that we saw back at Daytona, because honestly, in both the truck and cup, that was some of the best racing we've ever had at super speedways.
Yeah, I think it would clean up. I mean, those rules are just kind of there. Like, I highly doubt they will actually be used a lot. It's just kind of there to be like, hey guys, we gotta calm down, and if you don't calm down, this is what's gonna happen. So, I mean, because I mean, we've seen it. Like both the opening stages of both races this weekend at Pocono were fantastic. I mean, we're talking about great racing, hard racing, but clean racing. I know we talked about during the Cup race. I mean, we were having really hard battles up front, but we weren't wrecking. I mean, we're just racing hard and having fun. And then, that's not the case throughout the field. There's some guys that are, trying a little too aggressive and making silly mistakes. So, um, I'm pretty confident these rules will help. I know it's road course weekend, so we won't get a full view of these rules probably in effect as much this weekend. But I'm sure when we get back to oval racing and everything, I think it'll clean up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Nope, good.
No, I was just gonna say that yeah, we needed to make a change if we were gonna have like cleaner racing. Like you said, the super speedway races were fantastic. We were aggressive, but we were not chaotic. But as soon as that chapter ended, we got into the meat of our season. That's when everybody started kind of racing over heads, and I think the reason why is because the playoff system. You got guys that are knowing that if they win, they'll be locked into our playoffs, and with it only being 10 races in the regular season, you're gonna have guys that are gonna be trying to step over the edge a little bit more than they need to. So these rules that you guys implemented should clean up the racing. I believe you're not gonna have guys that are wanting to be aggressive early on, knowing that they could possibly be removed from the race. So I think like what Peyton said, this week at Road America and Watkins Glen, you're not really going to have that. But as soon as we go to our next oval, it'll be probably a little bit more strict. And so I hope it doesn't come down to it that we have to remove somebody. But if it does, we have that rule in place.
Absolutely. But let's dissect Pocono a little more here. Man, you had everything this week. You had the big crashes. You had the feuds. And let's not forget, you had the cramps.
Peyton got mad at me.
You had people getting cramps. That was hilarious, man. Lonnie Wiggins had me dying during that race.
Yeah, there was definitely some goofy shenanigans there. But hey, I'm glad Lonnie was able to persevere through his injury. I don't know what to consider that, but yeah, shout out to Lonnie, man. I mean, he kept it on the track and battled through, and that says something.
I will say this though, Lonnie Wiggins did bring down the mood, or he energized the mood after that, because we were all mad at each other. Peyton was cussing me out because I wasn't helping him on the restarts, and all of a sudden you got Lonnie that comes across just out of nowhere with his comments, and it kind of settled the mood down a little bit. So when you need a laugh, Lonnie Wiggins will provide it for you.
Oh yeah, you guys had your feuds, and then Frank Hughes. It was the Hugheses versus the Waltons.
Hughes and Walton, yeah.
And it was just everyone was all mad at each other. And it's like you said, you weren't helping Peyton on the restarts. Well, it turned into very quickly a high strategy race. You needed your teammates around you. You couldn't pass. It was very hard to pass on one unless you had a lot of help out back. So you had to rely on other people. The restarts were insane because people knew you couldn't pass in the long run. So that, everyone was thrown in there 3-4 wide down into turn one. And I mean, that was just stacking up the field, and that was causing a lot of issues. And that's where the majority of the crashes were right there in turn one.
Yeah.
Turn one. Go ahead, Ben.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I was going to say turn one, turn two, tunnel turn. You had guys that were getting on the apron through the tunnel turn. I think you had a couple incidents, Ronnie, where you got into the tunnel turn either too deep or too shallow, and either ran someone over or got ran into. I forget, but
The only one I ran
But I
over
think-
was what's his name in the 9? Is it Austin Walton?
Austin Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say I knew it was one of the Waltons. I just didn't know which one.
But yeah, like you said, turn 1 and turn 1 was the more chaotic. We had that one incident with Chris Thomas
Mm-hmm.
kind of getting in there a little too deep though. But there was a lot of chaos that happened. I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but yeah. So everybody was just crazy. So but yeah. So but turn 1 was definitely probably the most chaotic. But yeah.
You know, and hold on. How can we forget about the biggest feud of them all? Peyton Luck and Steve Bocock, man.
Oh,
The
man.
ADR team last week was not happy with each other.
Let's let Peyton talk about this and set the scene, because it was the last restart is what Ronnie is mentioning. So go ahead, Peyton. You have the stage.
Look, all right. So, I mean, it is a green white checkered restart, and I'm starting second, which is rough at Pocono because starting second at Pocono, the leader having control, and that straightaway being so long, if you miss it bad, like most tracks, you can start second and miss bad and only lose a spot, maybe 2. Pocono, if you have a bad restart, you might be outside the top 5 entering turn 1. So it's so important to get that perfect restart. So all I was doing was trying to be as close and even with Don Francisco there on the restart. And yes, I was over a little bit, but I think a little bit of netcode got me and Steve. He was a little over off center of his Don Francisco's bumper. And then if you watch the replay, there's a little bit of netcode there, and it hooks me into Don Francisco a little bit. Which Steve got frustrated with, but if you go back and watch, I mean, Steve comes out of the second, like it actually helps him out because it makes it so I don't have a good restart. So if he has a really good turn 1, like I think Steve might have a really good chance to win the race, but I battle back with him. He races really hard, and then he makes a mistake in turn 3, and he got mad at me. So, I mean, I understand his point. I don't understand his point on like it should have been a yellow. I mean, we all kept it straight. It was just kind of a rough restart. But
Yeah.
if Steve doesn't like, I don't want to say a dude gave up, but I mean, he was still in it. Like, I feel like he kind of got so mad about the situation on the restart, it took him out of the bigger picture, like racing for the win there. Like, I honestly thought that me or him like had a really good chance to win that one, and he just kind of took himself out of it. But I mean, yeah, like Ronnie said, I mean, it was a rough week for me and Steve on a team level. I mean, I'm hoping that it'll kind of blow some steam off, and maybe we can talk a little bit about it tonight and then get back to racing. But hey, I mean, that's just part of it sometimes.
Yeah, Steve had a rough weekend with his teammates, man. You
Yeah.
on Sunday, and then obviously I didn't help things on Monday. Ended his race on the front stretch. I'm still
ask
baffled.
Alberto.
I'm still baffled by that. I don't know what happened between him and I. You watch both of our cockpit views. I don't turn the wheel right one bit. He doesn't turn his left one bit. And somehow we make contact and obviously ends his night. Still baffled by it, but
But
It's
yeah,
kinda-
you guys don't make that contact, but yet when you like stick it like this close to Peyton's car 4 wide, it's clean. So
dude, I don't know how I didn't wreck the entire field out of that tunnel turn. First off, I don't know how David didn't wreck both y'all. And then who dove it underneath? Was it the 9?
It was, yeah, it's the 9.
9 and then
Yeah.
wiped out.
I don't know how we all didn't wipe out in coming out of the tunnel turn heading into 3. Because that was some tight door-to-door racing. But
Yeah, it's interesting for me to look back on this weekend because while I may got the sweep, the 2 wins are completely different. Like the truck race, I definitely feel like I had the best truck all the race. Like even Tuck admitted in the race, and I got some flashbacks of Rockingham with the late yellows, me being on old tires, and here comes the quick tires. Having a late race yellow that brought him up there, but Cat almost got that one, but I had to have a perfect restart to win the truck race and barely end up winning on a photo finish. The cup race, completely different story. I think there was I don't know if there's really necessarily a fully dominant guy. There was just like a lot of really good guys, and with the way Pocono works, any of them could have really won. And like you said, Ronnie, earlier, teamwork really came clutch on that one because me and you both had broken cars from the wreck prior. Um, and I had a absolutely terrible drive the last 2 laps, and good old Ronnie here being the most MVP teammate ever really clutched that up. Because if Ronnie, yes, he took it when David missed that corner, like really bad. I mean, that puts us in a situation that, I mean, Rod done the same thing on Ronnie. He's coming with a full head of steam. He's got to make a move there. Same as the 9. And then we all just got to pray it works out. And thank goodness for me and Ronnie, it paid out for us, and we got control there. But yeah, I mean, I definitely needed a lot of help to win the cup race, and Ronnie gave it to me. So shout out to Ronnie.
Yeah, once I knew coming out of turn 1 my race was over, I was like, nope, I'm just gonna box him in. I forget who was it.
It was Hunter.
Hunter.
It was Manley. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And we
Yeah.
I talked to him a little bit about the Monday race this week, and yeah, man, going back on it, like I told him he should have made the move on the front stretch. He had such momentum because he bumped me on the front stretch, and it sped me up by like 10 miles an hour. So if he would have pulled out, like, I think he would have probably won the race because I don't think my car or your car either had the speed just to like catch him back down. If we were ever cleared by somebody, I think it was GG. But looking back on it, he had a split second. He had just cleared the 9 off that corner. It'd have been tight, and he just couldn't get by me or you at the end. So yeah, man. I mean, those are hard fought, close finishes. But yeah, Pocono had some really good finishes when you go back and look, because everybody really had a shot there in the top 5, and I got lucky to get both of them.
Yeah, and going back to the whole teammate thing, I mean, real quick, ADR had a fantastic points week. Obviously you getting the sweep, and then in the cup side, me, you, and Alberto, we finished 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and then obviously we all know Ronnie Martin got taken out by the "It's racing night, kid." I should have put that in the radioactive, but I could not find when he said that. I was gonna put it in there, but I was dying when he said, "Yeah, the it's racing night, kid took me out."
All right. So that was the biggest net code I think I've ever
here we
seen in my
go.
life.
All right, Nicholas
In his
Trudeau.
car,
Okay.
In his car. I'm not an excuse guy, but all I'm saying is when your car goes that far away and you just bolt left like you see the freaking KFC down the street, like I don't know. Like I don't know what happened. So, but I forget. I got in that big wreck and it tore up my car, and I was trying to get back up there because I saved a set, and yeah, we were 3 wide, and Lonnie Wiggins kind of moved down, and yeah, all right, yeah, it's racing night. It's not racing night. Tomorrow's racing night. Tonight's trucking night. So
Nick just commented, "WTF."
Well, you know what? So yeah.
I'm assuming he's referring to my because you said net
calling
code.
him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is Nick talking about his net code at
Pocono
when he took out Jonathan?
John Duncan? Yeah.
We can blame Nick because that was the first caution of the whole weekend. So he's the one that started the whole thing, all the mess. So you can blame Nick.
You know what? I agree.
So,
thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Hashtag thanks, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Getting involved in the big ones, man. Obviously, I caused that one on lap 20-something where I got into the back of the 9 into the tunnel turn, and it took a while, but I finally got that stupid car fixed up. 6 minutes. No, it was like 7 minutes.
Yeah, because you saved your fat spare with that.
Yeah, it was all optional, though. That's the part that I just did not understand. Like, with a meatball flag, I thought that thing was destroyed, but...
Yeah, I've never seen that in iRacing before, but I give you mad props. That's a really risky call to come down pit road and say, "Nah, I'm not gonna use my fast repair with a meatball flag. I'm just gonna, fix it and YOLO it." Hey, it worked out for you. So
Next
I guess I
time-
can't hate it too much.
next time that happens, Ronnie's gonna have 25 minutes of required damage. He's
Oh,
like, "Yep,
absolutely.
not making that mistake again."
Yeah.
He gonna barely hit somebody, and the game's gonna be like, "Oh, you blew out your radiator, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go all the way to Dollar General to get a replacement. You dumb, bro." Like,
Yeah, especially after watching the replay and how far the rear end came up off the ground. Like, car should have been toast, honestly.
yeah,
But
you're crazy. for
it's
not
just
getting
like
fast car.
Daytona, man. Daytona, I was hitting people, and I didn't need a fast repair. It was insane, T-boning people, and it was.
Those cars are tanks, man. They can take a beating. Yeah.
Until you hit that one of the left or right front wheels, then you knock the toe out. You hit
Oh,
a
yeah, then you're
garbage
screwed.
can, and it knocks the toe out.
You lose that right front fender, you're toast. So
Yeah.
that's when if you break, I don't know if you break a toe link or something, you're having to use your fast repair.
Yeah. Well, it don't get any easier for these guys tonight and tomorrow night. The Truck Series, Road America, and then Watkins Glen for the Cup Series.
I will say this. I will
ahead.
say this though about Road America. Now, are we doing the stage caution as a yellow, or are we doing it like NASCAR has changed it as like we'll just get reward the stage points and keep it green? Have we said that rule?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if
All right,
anyone's
'cause I
really
was
thought
thinking-
about that.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out before the
We'll
start.
figure
But I was
that out
saying-
about halfway through
I
the
was
race.
saying, I was saying if we didn't have that, then you're going to have guys spread out, and it's going to be a very strategic race
Mhm.
because I don't believe we're going to have the cautions that we saw
No.
last week. So you're the fastest guy this week at both Road America and Watkins Glen will be the one that's in victory lane. So
Nick
gonna,
just said we are throwing the yellow.
we are throwing the yellow. Okay, so yeah, so we might see that strategy where guys go for stage points or try to go for the win too. So it's going to be with that now into effect, you're going to have guys that might be on the playoff cutoff line that stay out or think that they have a chance to win. They might pit like 2 laps before the pit roads close too. So with that now into effect, I think I don't know if the fastest car might win now because we're having that now. So, but we'll see. So I think Road America is very very technical and challenging, and Watkins Glen's gonna be more like your all out track. But we've had good races in the Cup side of the Watkins Glen in the past though. So, but the trucks at Road America might be a learning curve for most of us.
I'll tell you someone you got to watch out for this week or tonight more than tomorrow night because he's not racing. But Stephen Henning, man, we were running practice last night. There was about 8 or 9 of us in the little practice group, and the dude had the fastest lap by a mile over everybody. He's going to be a big, he's always competitive when it comes to super speedway and road course racing. He's like the Michael McDowell of NEXXTCAR. Always there on the super speedway racing, always there at the road courses challenging for the win, but then he always does something stupid that takes the win out of his hand.
Nice.
Well, he said it too last night. So he said it too last night. He chokes a lot.
Call out the guy.
He said it too last night. So, he always does something that takes his hand off that trophy at the end of the night.
Yeah, I would almost call him kind of the road course ringer of NEXXTCAR, but he runs pretty solid other tracks. You can definitely tell that road courses are one of his higher strengths, and he's kind of one of those guys that we show up to a road course. It's like, hey, we got to remember Stephen Henning. He's going to be up there in this race. So I'm expecting a lot of fun. I haven't raced Road American truck. I love Road America though, and trucks. I with that track, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Personally, but I mean, like Tuck said, I mean, it's gonna be all about it's gonna be about consistency. 'Cause that's always key. It's road courses. I mean, anybody can run a real quick lap eventually. The question is, can you do run solid enough laps over and over again? Don't make that big mistake because if you make that big mistake and lose 15 seconds on track, and that could be the difference of you winning and you finishing 5th. So there's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting race because you might see a lot of guys who don't normally have a really good shot have a shot, and they could, make their way in the playoffs with a big win this weekend. So definitely an exciting weekend. I know a lot of guys aren't super excited about road course racing, but hey, this is the one road course weekend of the season, so there's some guys trying to take big advantage of it.
And road course racing a part of the sport. Like, I
A
mean,
massive part of the
yeah.
sport.
So we it's not that we don't want to run them or have to run them, but like some of these tracks are fun. I mean, I love Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen's it's very challenging, and also it gives a different perspective of racing. Like that way, broad or expand your skill set too. So like that way, you're not just running in super speedways, not just running mile and a half. So we're just trying to get it where guys can learn because I'll say this though, like stuff that will take away from Watkins Glen might help you later on at a different like different tracks, like getting through the carousel for once. Like you have to manage your brakes, manage your speed, because if you like sail off in there, you're in the freaking tire barriers. But yeah, but also back to Stephen Henning for a minute. I got off a little subject or off topic there, but the man, like I remember when we were at Canadian Tire for the truck races the first couple of years, the man was running top five, like both races. So like I could see him being a huge if he I don't know if is he racing trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what okay, that's I can't remember. There's so many new guys now. I it's
Yeah, he
kind of
does a
hard
race
to
cup.
keep track. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, tonight he might be one of the guys up in the top that qualified like top 5, and he might get his first NEXXTCAR win tonight. So it'll be good, and if he wins, that's a spot in the playoffs too. That he doesn't have to worry about points. So that goes back to uh, our whole spiel about the chaos and everything too. But yeah, so if when you're in, and I think Steve has a good shot tonight.
And if Henning or someone else like that does get the victory lane for the first time this season, well, that would be a NEXXTCAR record of starting the Truck Series off with 5 different winners. That would be, the previous record was 4, and then Norman went on to his dominance. But yeah, the record's 4, and if we get a 5th different winner, then that's a NEXXTCAR record. 5 different winners in the first 5 races, and that closes out the first half of the season for the regular season. That is, that'll be 5 out of the 10 races. Then you got other tracks coming up, Charlotte, and and then we obviously end things off at Michigan. So a lot of big tracks still yet to come for these guys.
Don't forget Talladega's still there.
Talladega,
too. So,
yeah. Atlanta
that's
for trucks.
That's another spot. Yeah.
Atlanta for the trucks. So, a lot of big good tracks coming up that, you throw everyone's name in a bowl because who knows who's coming out victorious,
Yeah, it's definitely the season's just getting started, that's for sure. We've got a lot of guys, races that are definitely kind of those X Factor races that you really can't really predict a winner for, especially right now. So, I'm personally glad, while I think I've been fine points, I'm glad I had those wins in the bucket now because if you're on that, cutoff line, you know, right now, you're starting to get a little nervous. This is the point where you start to get a little nervous because, I mean, at any point, some guys back there can start winning and you can start falling even more. So I think while I think everybody's gonna be a little bit smarter with driving, I think there's gonna be guys with a little bit more urgency. I think you'll start seeing guys take maybe a bold strategy call or something at certain tracks to, do anything they can to get every point because I think it's gonna come down the wire there for the cutoff.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, you got these wild card races that we just mentioned. Michigan, that's a huge draft track, basically a super speedway in the trucks. I don't know if you lift. I don't think you lift a whole lot at
You'll
Michigan
have
in
to
trucks.
because of tire wear.
Right. So,
but yeah,
you got that. You got, like we just mentioned, Atlanta, Talladega for cups, Atlanta trucks, Charlotte coming up. These are all tracks, and then you got obviously Iowa thrown in there at one point. I think there's obviously one more track that I'm forgetting, but you got 3 out of the 5 upcoming races are wild card races that you just don't know who's going to win. And, like you mentioned, yeah, you might be able to think you can make it in on points, but eventually there might only be, 5 spots left, 6 spots left for the guys on points. So you got to get those wins when you can, and you got to get them fast here because, yeah, we're only halfway through the regular season, but it's getting into the crunch time.
And I think the thing I'm most happy about getting myself done is going to tracks like Dega, Atlanta, and Michigan and stuff. Those are tracks that are really team oriented. You can really help your teammates. And now that I'm good, I can really focus on trying to help Steve and Alberto and the guys, do good in those races. So I know Steve's really good at those races, those kind of tracks. And I know while we're a little, got a little drama going on, hopefully we can clean that up. And by the time we get there, me and him can really work together in those races because
I don't know if you're getting that cleaned up anytime soon, buddy.
hey, we'll see.
I
We'll
don't know.
see.
I don't know.
Hey,
You,
I mean,
you lit into the man.
hey, yeah, that's fair. But if you like that, man, racing brings out emotions. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm moved by it. We'll see how much he's moved by it. But hey, I don't know what to say about it.
Oh, my. All right. What else y'all got to talk about for NEXXTCAR? I think that's about everything.
Yeah.
No, the last thing we got to talk about NEXXTCAR, and I guess it kind of transitions to real life NASCAR, is Tuck has officially cursed a whole man's career by sponsoring him because now he just can't do anything right. So congratulations to the NEXXTCAR sponsor and Tuck for ruining a career.
Where did he finish? Did he finish
was in
last
the
again?
30th.
31st.
Yeah.
Okay, so did Greg actually finish the race?
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
No,
Did
I
he?
think he did.
Yes,
I think he finished
he
like
did.
4 laps down or something. Because I think he lost to Haley. Yeah, I think he finished right behind Haley.
He did. He finished. He beat Matt Crafton though. So there we go.
Woo!
So you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Man, how about Matty D, though? Give that dude props on that final restart. I know he obviously wasn't enough to advance, though, to the next round, but dude, from 7th to 3rd on that insane restart, that was crazy.
The man can drive, that's for sure. He just, and I'll say this, though, that truck that he's in is not a third place finishing truck.
It's not a playoff spot truck.
You put a regular kid trucker in there that's like 20, 21 coming up through the ranks. He's finishing outside the top 10 every week. I don't even know if he gets top 15 in that truck. So
I've heard rumors of the owners of that team's son is like going through the ranks right now a little bit. And I'd imagine that's probably who's going to get that ride next year. Yeah, I think the fall off you're going to see for that ride is going to be ridiculous. Matty D has been milking that car for or truck, I guess I should say, all it's worth. And it sucks being a kind of a closet Matty D fan. That if he makes driver introductions at Milwaukee, he probably makes the next round and beats out a champion, a former truck champion, Ben Rhodes. I mean, Matty D was that close to knocking off a champion in that truck. So
he was
shout out to
3
Matty
spots
D.
short, 3 points off, something like that.
I think it ended up being 5. I could be
Was it
wrong on
5?
that. But I mean, we're talking about like I said, if he makes the driver introductions, I think he probably gets stage points that first stage, and he's up there and gets a good finish. Like it wouldn't even been close, in my opinion. So instead, he starts in the back of the track that's hard to pass. Yeah, good luck with that. So yeah, it's frustrating, but I'm excited to see what happens from ID going forward because, like, I mean, he's bet on himself now. He said that he's going to leave that ride and look for better opportunities, and we'll see what that means. I mean, does Matty D get a shocking, ride, or does he get just kind of another mediocre ride? We'll see.
I don't know. They kind of said something during the broadcast on Friday night that he had something lined up. But yet he came out in his thing. They said his future involves racing, but then he came out and said he doesn't know what his future is. Back when he announced that he was leaving Rackley War. So I don't know if something came up in the last week and a half or what.
It could be that he has something lined up, but he's just not allowed to say it.
Right,
He's just
and
kind of
that's
holding his cards.
I'm still hoping it's colleague, man. I'm still hoping that.
Hey, I don't have to get rid of my 31 hats then.
I'm still hoping it is. I think he would fit in perfectly at colleague.
Say what you want to about Matty D in the 21 and not winning. Matty D drove a mediocre best car in the truck or in the Cup series and brought it to the playoffs and was competing for wins. Something that car hasn't done
Since
since
then.
and hadn't done since Ryan Blaney, who's obviously a generational talent, was in the car. So I mean, Matty D took that team up, and you see what Harrison Burton's done. So I mean, yes, Matty D is not a future Cup, champion or anything. No, but is Matty D a driver deserving of a Cup ride that if he got the colleague car would probably be knocking on the door for a playoff spot? Absolutely, in my opinion. So I hope Matty D gets a decent shot, whether it be Xfinity or Cup. I would love to see it in colleague. We'll see if that ends up happening, but I mean that dude deserves more than a 25th place truck. I mean, come on now.
I mean, don't forget, he almost won it. What was it, Daytona or Talladega? But NASCAR flagged him for blocking, for excessive blocking, when he blocked Byron or somebody through turns 3 and 4.
He blocked Byron below the yellow line, and that was the race that Hamlin drove below the yellow line
and to pass. Yeah. So I don't know.
If NASCAR officiates that race right, Denny Hamlin gets a DNF and or whatever, and Matty wins. So hey, Matty had a couple of rough Dega races. I think it was the one race before or after was the one that his spotter told him to block low, or no, it was block high, and he just got off the bottom and just gave Brad the win. It was a terrible call by the spotter. So Matty D got really close. I mean, heck, people forget, like, he had a second place at, like, Las Vegas one time, like, just of natural speed off the 21 or something. Like, that dude, he's got a little bit of talent. It's not, like I said, he's not a future Cup driver, but he showed it. He was so close too many times. I mean, he drove, everybody has already forgot about the 95 Bristol thing. He'd have won if Ryan Newman would have
just moved over.
Yep. Like, so,
instead, he made contact with him.
Or even when he drove the 95, he was in the top 3 at Sonoma.
Yeah,
literally that year. So the man can get it done, and he is serviceable, and he doesn't tear up equipment. So with those like 3 factors, I could see him definitely getting a. And some owners are going to see him, and they'll be like, "All right, he's not going to tear my stuff up, and he'll give me good finishes." I think his downplay was the comments that he made at Phoenix's last year, so that's kind of what took him back to the trucks. So, but that's just what I think, and but he does have Cup talent. So you put him back in the 21 car, he's going to be 10 positions better than what Harrison Burton's been running.
Matty D is
it's crazy what a comment can do to your career.
You're not wrong. He's definitely the most.
You got Brandon Brown, you got Matty D, you got Noah Gragson.
Brandon Brown wasn't even his.
No,
it was the reporter.
Yeah,
he got screwed.
Yep. But like I said, it's insane what a comment can do to your career. Literally ruined 3 guys' career. I think Noah can bounce back, but I'm hoping Noah gets the Kyle Larson treatment. He comes back, gets a top-notch ride, and comes out and just dominates and wins the championship.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Brandon Brown thing, man, that ticks me off because that dude literally had the biggest moment of his life. Like, he won that race, and then it ended up being the worst moment of his life and in his career off of something he didn't do. So you can say what you want about the Let's Go Brandon thing. Every time I see it, I get mad because it ruined a guy's career.
And then he can't profit off of it.
Yeah,
he tries to. He tries to get a sponsorship, but they'd say no.
No, And then, like you said with Noah, I mean, Noah liked a meme. Sure, it was a dark meme, sure, whatever, but like...
We've all done it.
I would say, yeah, not only that, but yes, Larson did his really bad thing. We're not going to sit here and defend Larson. But Denny Hamlin came out and made a dark meme and posted online.
And nothing.
He got like a sensitivity training. That's it. Noah Gragson got, slap on the wrist. Noah Gragson got fully canceled and basically fired for liking a meme. Denny Hamlin made a meme. He was the creator of it. So, I don't know. I feel really bad for Noah.
Meme that he liked when it was originally posted, it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it had been a while.
Bro, first off, why are you stalking this guy that bad to go back 4 years to find this meme that he liked?
Shy Gibbs fan.
They trying to. I still say Legacy was looking for an excuse for John Hunter. I think the
Oh,
writing was
absolutely.
like it was the most
Toyota
obvious thing.
wanted him. They wanted Noah
Once
gone.
once Truex, and they even talked about that. He was like Jimmy talked about how, like in an interview I saw, how they thought John Hunter was going to 19. They didn't even really like picture him as a possible driver next year. So once Truex came out and said he was going to be back, it was kind of obvious that Toyota was going to want not John Hunter in the Cup. Well, the only seat that made sense was kicking out Noah. So I think they just use this whole thing as excuse personally, which I think is rough. I don't understand all these people talking about Noah needs to go back to Xfinity and prove himself. The dude won what, 8, 9 races last year and almost won the championship. What does Noah need to prove? I mean, he literally jumped in like the most worst situation possible in Cup history. A team that's in a lame duck year, changing manufacturers, can't do crap. I mean, Josh Berry, everybody hypes up Josh. I like Josh. He got in that car. What did Josh do? Ran exactly where Noah was running. So I hope Noah doesn't get like the freaking, like you said. I hope he gets the Larson treatment and not like the Matty D treatment. If he has to go like a low ride cup or truck team, that's just gonna be disappointing.
What if Hendrick signs him, kicks out Bowman for lack of?
I think I think what makes sense a lot is if I think with the cup rides available, unless it's the colleague car, that's the one car I can really see Noah making a lot of sense for because he's drove for him before, big Chevy team. I could see that. However, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think what makes most sense is he's going to go back to Xfinity, sadly. But I think you're right. I think Hendrick will kind of watch Noah for a year, and if Bowman continues to unperform, because whether you like Bowman or not, he's obviously the weakest link of that team. He always has been, always will be. I could see it. I could see Noah just getting, freebie for Hendrick, Kendrick getting an absolute free generational talent, and then go off with it. So I could
I'll
definitely see it.
I'll say this about Bowman though: you get that man because let's not forget he broke his back earlier in the year. So I mean, you get that man healthy. I think he'll win you more races. I mean, yes, is
What
he
was
the
his
worst
excuse
driver
the
at Hendrick?
first 7 years?
He's driving for BK Racing,
He
driving a 23 car. That's his excuse.
He's never been.
he's solid.
He won 4 races in 2020.
Is he a cup
He had
deserving
one good
driver?
year.
Absolutely. Is he a Hendrick car
No.
deserving driver?
No.
Absolutely not. He is a
Yes.
solid driver. Oh, what?
Yes.
Hendrick is by far right now the most consistent and best team in NASCAR, and you're gonna say Alex Bowman.
Alex
Is
Bowman was leading the points till he got hurt this year.
It was like 6 races, and one of them's
He
Daytona.
was
Like
still leading the points.
everybody keeps talking about that, but it's so early in the season. Who cares?
Mm.
Ross Chastain was
You
the
get
points
that, man.
leader for weeks, and then what happened? He finished 10th in the regular season standings.
Ross Chastain also won at Nashville and then went the rest of the regular season. Only having
Exactly.
one top
So
ten.
I don't know why we're talking about the first 6 races of the year for Alex Bowman. Is like, oh yeah, man, look, he was doing good. I mean, hell,
He got hurt.
Austin Cindric was the points leader after Daytona when
I'll
he
give
won it
you-
that one
I'll give
year.
you-
Like, who cares?
I'll give you one comparison. I think it's the same injury that Eric Almirola had back when he broke his back at Kansas. And then the following year, when he goes to Stuart Haas, the man finished, let's not forget, 5th in the regular season standings. So can Alex Bowman have that bounce back year in a
No.
Hendrick car? Yes. Yes, he
Look,
can.
Look, I'm not saying Alex Bowman's bad. Like I said, I think Alex Bowman is more deserving than a cup ride. I think Alex Bowman deserves the colleague rides of the world and everything like that. But I mean, Hendrick is where the absolute elite drivers go. You either are extremely elite to go to Hendrick, or you have a massive backing, Chase Elliott. So I don't understand. Like you look at the other 3 drivers on there. I mean, Kyle Larson, I would argue is the best driver anywhere around here, like of North America. There is nobody of his talent, around here. William Byron has been an extreme development project that has extremely paid off for Hendrick. Chase Elliott, I hate him or like him. He's really talented and has a huge backing from the fan base. Okay, so those 3 bring a bunch to the table. What does Alex Bowman bring? He inherited the Ally sponsorship. Okay, what else? That's it. That's
Alex
really it.
Bowman. Alex Bowman is a like. Let's not forget, he's won what 7, 8 Cup races.
He's not. It's not that
Yes,
much.
he has.
Has he? I thought it was like 5 or
Yes.
6. Are you
No,
sure?
he won. He's won
8
7 or
races.
8 Cup races, man.
But how long's he been at Hendrick? 19?
What was it? When in 18.
18? So
18. But he'd also gotten that car in the playoffs up until this year. So
Well,
let's not forget
I would
that.
hope it's a top like 7 ride in the series.
Jimmy Johnson literally did not win a race in the
Jimmy
40
Johnson
okay,
car
Jimmy
last
Johnson. We all
washed.
know Jimmy Johnson at the end of his career was washed up. We all know that.
Jimmy
And
Johnson's
Johnson
record-
also was in some really bad
that's another
luck.
story.
Johnson
Yeah.
also got himself into some bad luck, but I
Johnson
can't
did not
believe-
make the playoffs the last 2 years, and then you
Right.
put Bowman in that car, and then he makes the. Well, Bowman went to junior, so yeah, so there you go. Bowman Junior doesn't make the playoffs his last 2 years. Bowman gets in the car, makes the playoffs.
You're
He has made the playoffs.
You're talking about 2 guys that were pretty washed at that point, and then you're comparing to a guy who
will-
should be in his prime. Like, come on now.
You get Alex Bowman healthy, he has another 4-win season in him.
I mean, you're comparing like Joe Flacco to like I don't know, freaking
Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl.
prime Teddy Bridgewater. Like, yeah, obviously Joe Flacco was really good at one point, and Teddy Bridgewater has never been good. But prime Teddy Bridgewater, of course, is gonna be better than fucking 45-year-old Joe Flacco. I mean, come on now, man. Like,
Wait, are you comparing Joe Flacco to Dale Jr. or are you comparing Joe Flacco to Alex Bowman?
I'm comparing
I was a little
Joe
confused
Flacco.
on the
I
comparison
was
too.
confused.
I'm
too.
comparing Joe Flacco to like the old like Jimmy Johnson and Dale Jr. who are washed and old as crap, like way out of their prime, and I'm comparing Alex Bowman to like a prime Teddy Bridgewater who's just kind of okay. Like, I don't know why we're comparing the two because it's like there's
You're
like
the
a
one that
completely
compared
different
them.
moment.
Yeah, you're the
No,
one
I'm
comparing them.
I'm talking about, I don't know why we're comparing Alex Bowman to Jimmy Johnson Jr.
Oh.
when it's a completely different situation.
I'm just saying that Bowman's took over for both of them, and he's gotten both of the cars in the playoffs after that they were not in. And Bowman has been in the playoffs every year up until this year in a Hendrick car.
Yeah,
since.
but Junior had a lot of health issues towards the end of his career
That is true.
prevented him. You know,
Yep.
and then Johnson was not the same Johnson that we grew up watching.
Yep.
You know, it
But
happens.
still,
I mean, look
if
at
we're gonna
look at
say-
Richard Petty. Look at Richard Petty. The dude
Oh
won
my gosh, the
7
man was
championships through
55.
his whole career, and in the last 5 seasons of his career, he was not great. Same thing with
That's-
Johnson.
The only
I-
dude that was able to stand Father Time and still be competitive was that man, the myth, the legend, Mark Martin. That dude could just never
Kevin
stop
Harvick.
racing, bro.
Harvick.
I mean,
yeah.
Kurt Busch.
Yes,
Kurt Busch.
Harvick didn't have his fall off, but I think that's because I think Harvick's actually understanding. He's retiring before it's a year too late. They always say retire a year early than a year too late, and I think that's kind of what's happening to Harvick. Not to throw him out throw him out like that, but I think if Harvick were to stay, I'd imagine a pretty big fall off like within 2 years.
I think it just depends on what Stuart Haas were to do. If they would drop, a car or what.
Yeah.
But
I'll have
going
a
back to
hot
the
take.
whole Chase Elliott,
Oh.
Dale Jr. thing, I can't believe what I'm about to say. It's definitely going to hurt coming out. But if you guys watched his documentary on Peacock, the Chase Elliott documentary, it's a
No,
1-episode
break it
thing.
up.
Dude, I can't
No.
believe I'm about to say, but it's actually pretty good. And it hurts to say. But yeah, if you're bored, I was bored at work one night and I
Okay.
watched it. But if y'all are bored, definitely highly suggest watching that.
Okay, I will give you so this is going back to Alex Bowman
Oh boy.
because I'm waiting for this. I'll give you a hot take for next. If Alex Bowman is healthy next year, he wins more races than William Byron. Mark it down.
Oh my god.
September 10th,
Tug.
2023. At the end of next year, Alex Bowman will have more wins than William Byron.
All right, viewers. I just want to let
Byron's
this
not.
be
I'm
known.
not a fan of Byron. at all.
Viewers, our viewers,
This-
Nick. We're talking
this-
to Nick.
No, we got-
yeah, but people come back and watch. Thank
We
you.
got
Anyway,
56.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I just want to give y'all a heads up. This is the same dude at the beginning of the season that said Riley Herbst was going to win before John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter has now won 6 races and
And
is
you know what?
a prime championship driver. Riley Herbst lost to Parker Kligerman to make the playoffs. Great
And
thing.
you know, and you
Great
know
thing.
what? And you know what? I have went back on that statement, so I know where I went wrong.
Yeah. I bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Riley
Mhm.
Herbst honeypotted the heck out of me the first 3 weeks of the year. I thought I thought he'd make a step. You know what? His whole team at Stewart Haas, the car chief, just got fired last week because the car couldn't make it out turn 1 at Daytona. So I mean,
Right.
all of it is not really Riley Herbst's fault.
That's fair. He did have some bad luck. However, he still didn't win. So
That is
point
also
proven.
true. Riley Herbst is living off of family money, and I would like to be Riley Herbst. So, but you know what? You know what? Things don't happen like they do, and I will take my L and move on to my next prediction.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Oh boy.
flipping.
If Alex Bowman does not win more races than William Byron next year, then I will take the L and I will keep fighting on. So
I
Well,
hope he does. I hope he does. I'm not a
okay.
fan of Byron.
that's a guaranteed L, and I'll make sure to clip that and send it to Trenton for you disrespecting his boy
Okay.
like that. Like you, that's crazy. But hey, sure.
I'm just saying, William Alex Bowman, when healthy, is a better driver than William Byron.
No, he's. Oh my God. Okay. What are you gonna say next? Like Danica Patrick gonna come back and make the playoffs? Like, what are these takes, Tuck?
She comes
I'm
back
lost
as a
here.
colleague driver.
Yeah,
So
Danica.
she
my
takes
gosh.
over the
Danica the
31.
31.
I will say this though, totally random, off topic though. John Nemechek going to the 42. I would put Trevor Bayne in the 20 car. We're
Yes.
talking about guys coming
Hmm.
back.
Yeah. See, a
I would
take
put
I
Trevor
can
Bayne in the
agree
20 in the
with.
20
Yeah,
car.
I can agree
So,
with that one.
so there we go. All right, there we go. Now we can move
Thank
off
God
of
he
rando
saved it.
topics now. So
Man,
but,
that's a low move though, because he knew I'd agree with that. He knows how much I like Trevor, man.
well, you mentioned you. Well, Trevor Bayne is deserving too. So I just
Mhm.
think.
Trevor, I mean, everybody forgets that he would have. I mean, sure, like Roush was like so dead at that point. Like literally, you had
Yeah.
the classic guys of Roush, like Kenseth and Edwards, talking about jumping ship because how bad it was. And Trevor was put in that situation, and then had his health problems. So Trevor got screwed all the way around. When that all happened. So I want to see a Trevor Bayne redemption story. He never really got the most fair shot. So. But please, Joe Gibbs, for the love of God. I know I don't like you. I know I've said bad things about you, but please, for the love of God, give this man a ride. If you give Ryan Truex the ride, man, I'm gonna be really mad. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, Ronnie, you want to wrap this? We want to wrap this podcast up with some picks.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, start us off, Peyton. You swept the weekend.
Oh Lord. Okay, so the racing, crap. Kansas today. Yeah, we're at Kansas. I don't care where they qualified. I am still going to be the man that believes in history. This has been 2311's playground, and I think that sticks to it. I'm gonna pick Tyler Reddick to win. Bubba Wallace is the sleeper. I will be really shocked if either car doesn't finish in the top 5. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in that. I know Bubba failed the pre-race crap or whatever, so he's got a long drive ahead of him, so he might not win. But they have just been so
Well, he's not
dominant.
starting in the back, is he?
I think is he not? I thought
No,
he was.
I don't think they're making him start in the back. I saw where
Yeah,
his
they're
crew
not.
chief and
Yeah.
car chief were
Oh,
ejected,
okay.
but they're letting
Oh,
him keep his, which is bullshit. But they're letting him keep his 10th place qualifying spot.
Okay. Well, then I feel better about that. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, they've just been really good here. Like every time they showed up, people forget last year when we came here, Bubba was in the 45 at the time. Yes, but he honestly just kind of dominated that race. Like, so yeah, I'm sure guys like Kyle Larson's really good here, so he'll probably be a pick for one of you guys. And Denny Hamlin, they had their little run here last time we were here, but I'm just confident in 2311. This is one race I know they've had circled for the entire year because they knew entering the playoffs is a really good track for them. So I'm expecting them to show up with their A game.
All right, what you got, Tuck?
All right. So my lock is the guy that should have won the spring race Kansas, like what Peyton said. I will say Kyle Larson starts the playoffs off, back-to-back wins at Darlington and now Kansas. I'll say he's my lock. My sleeper, I don't know if you can call this guy a sleeper. Tim's probably going to get mad at me because I'm calling him a sleeper. But I will say Ross Chastain is my sleeper pick.
Yeah, for a guy that has got his first top 10 his first stage points since Nashville at Daytona. And it's been a absolute no-show for months at this point, I think Ross Chastain would be considered a sleeper
I
currently.
will take him a sleeper. Yep. Right now he's flying under the radar. A lot of people picked him to not make the out of the first round, so I will. And they have speed this weekend, so
Thank God.
I think he's coming to the playoffs now, knowing he needs to get back to the Ross Chastain of pissing everybody off. So that way, Ross Chastain can race better, and I think he will have a shot at least having a good run today. So I'll take that. So we'll see. I don't know what Ross Chastain's odds are, but I still think he's a sleeper. He's flying under the radar. So
I like it. And I will say, like, Ross, he always says Darlington's one of, if not his best track. And when they qualified real bad last week, that was really scary. But, they battled through, and when the race was said and done, I mean, he was a really quick car and got a top 5. So I like that pick, Tuck. They've got a little bit of momentum. I mean, you could tell there's a little bit more life in that building. And you could tell they're mad. Like, I saw. Like Justin Marks quote tweeted a tweet where there was a guy that talked about like, hey Trackhouse, we're building quick cars when they saw Ross, qualify so bad, and then he went back like hours later and quote tweeted that tweet and said P5. Like you can tell Trackhouse is mad about it. So yeah, I like that one. Ronnie, what you got?
All right, so my lock-in
Okay.
pick.
It better not be freaking Ryan Blaney and
No.
Corey LaJoie.
No. My lock-in pick is going to be a guy that came into this race in 2018 and caused a lot of controversy that led to the iconic moment at Martinsville with Matt Kenseth. But my lock-in pick is going to be Joey Logano. He had some good speed, qualified pretty good. I think 11th is pretty decent. The rest of Penske is further back. I think Ryan's like 18th and Cindric's 19th or 20th or something like that. So they're a little deeper in the field. And then my sleeper pick is going to be a guy that started the playoffs off on a decent foot, currently still below the cutoff line. But Michael McDowell, that team came out and they qualified 7th. They got some good speed.
off a decent foot, man wrecked.
Well, it's good for them. So they got the win at Indy, and I think that I think he can come out and he's my sleeper pick. He's got some good speed.
Ronnie forgot
Front
that
row,
Michael McDowell
100%, absolutely. So, hey, it is what it is, though. I think
Michael McDowell,
Michael
with a strong
McDowell.
32nd place run to start the playoffs.
Hey,
Yeah.
same place Alan Van Alst finished.
Right.
Right.
Right. I will say this though, Michael McDowell though, if he wants to get in the playoffs, he has to have a strong run today.
Mhm.
If he doesn't, then he's going to have to throw a Hail Mary at Bristol, and that's not going to happen. So,
And I mean,
or continue on.
7th is good.
Yep.
That
I will say though,
that
I
Ford's
like
got
that.
some
I like
speed.
that pick.
Ford's picked it up, man. Ford has picked it up lately. RFK has obviously picked up, their momentum.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Christopher Bell. He's or not Christopher Bell. Busher, 3 wins. Fantastic for him. Brad, they got that 1-2 finish. So Ford's really picked it up lately.
And they were both strong last week too.
Mhm.
What I think RFK is still the best Ford team. I will still say that. So,
I mean,
I can
overall,
respect that.
yeah.
but yeah. So what we got? I got Larson and Chastain. Tim's got 2011 cars, and Ronnie's got good old strong run McDowell and Joey. So.
He's got a strong run McDowell and a Penske car when Penske hasn't done anything lately. I mean,
Can
sure,
we
we'll
just
go with
start calling McDowell that strong run McDowell?
I will say Ronnie talked about like the playoff implications. Everyone is sleeping on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. a little bit, but if he today can have a solid run, he doesn't have to have a great run. He just has to have a solid, let other guys make mistakes. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Bristol is one of his best tracks.
Mhm.
I think there is after having a really good run at Darlington last week, everybody counted him as a first round exit, including myself. Ricky can make his way in on points if everything goes right. So I think he's a really important driver to watch today. If he can stay out of trouble, have a good run, he's going to be a threat at Bristol.
I wish there was a way you could bet that a driver could make a round. Because I
Yeah.
haven't seen that. Because I would put my money right now on Stenhouse to make the round of 8.
Ooh,
Because
and
if he
around
makes
an
it through,
eight.
if he makes it through this, you got Talladega right there.
Mhm.
Stenhouse wins Talladega, man. He's automatically in the round of 8. So,
Man,
which that's probably not going to happen. But I'm just saying, me
I'd say
being
that's a bold prediction.
me being the degenerate I am, I would do it. So, but yeah. So,
YOLO.
but I like that. I think Sten was he like 4 points out right now, the cutoff.
It's not a lot. I think
it's 4.
Yeah, 4 points out.
The front 3 you can, or the top 3 under the cutoff, you can throw a blanket over.
Yeah.
It's 1, 2, and 4, I think. Yeah.
Right.
1, 2, and 4.
I will say the only problem he has is like I've already predicted, Bubba should have a good race today. And he's right there. Harvick is running
Bell
right
got the
now.
pole.
Bell got pole. Like all those guys right there. Even like Ross started good and had some speed. So it's gonna be rough for him. But I think what's important for him is those guys make those mistakes. No matter even if it's a guy near the bubble or a guy up there, if those guys have big mistakes, have bad races, he's gonna be right there.
He's gonna need somebody like Kyle Busch or Ryan Blaney to have a bad race for him to gain all those points. So, but I could see it though if he salvages the day, getting a top 15, he goes into Bristol only another 5 to 10 points back. He's got a shot.
It's Bristol, so I mean, it's very easy for you to go to Bristol and have a bad race. So,
Yep,
we'll see.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else for the podcast? Obviously, football started up. The NFL starts today. College started 2 weeks ago. Let's talk about college real quick. Colorado, man. Are you guys jumping on the hype train?
Man, I like the whole story. I think it's a really awesome story and everything. And I think, they're going to be a fun team to cheer for. However, for all the people, the student section chanting, "We want Bama," which is funny because if Bama ended up losing. But still, I think they need to calm down a little bit. I mean, they beat a TCU team that got worse, obviously, and they beat Nebraska, who has been god-awful lately. I don't think they're ready to get a big game. I think if they get an Alabama, Ohio State, or one of those big teams right now, I think the Cinderella story ends really bad. So I love the story, but let's calm down. Everybody acting like Colorado like a Final Four favorite right now. No, calm down.
I will say this though, it is good for college football because it's something you can back. But I will also say this: the Pac-12 is probably one of the sneakiest, best conferences this season. And in 2 weeks, they will have to go at Oregon and have to play I forget. Hey, it's like the Stetson Bennett now. Bo Nix is the quarterback of Oregon. So I don't know how many years he's been there, but he is a guy that has won big games and is very experienced to the college game. So I see Oregon saying, "All right, we're gonna be not buying into this," or not. Or Oregon's gonna see like, "All right, we gotta shut this down," and I think Oregon's gonna smack around Colorado. You can guarantee that. Take the Oregon spread right now. So I don't know what it is, but just take it.
Absolutely. NFL side of things. Tuck, what do you got on the Browns?
I don't know. They're gonna lose today, probably. We haven't won Browns haven't won a first season or the first week game season opener. I don't think they have. I think it's just cursed. The whole Cleveland franchise is just cursed. And we have a new man at quarterback, according to himself. So he's a newly changed man. So we'll see if this newly changed man can at least just try to win a game. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not expecting him to win, but I'll still be rooting him on. I got my Njoku jersey from his rookie year, so I'll be cheering on the whole team. So it's probably not going to happen.
If you're trying to break a curse, I wouldn't have traded, 3 first-round picks for the massage parlor guy and threw away my first overall pick, who's never been really bad.
You know what? Cleveland's Cleveland.
Cleveland was looking out for the economy of the city, okay?
Yeah, okay.
The massage parlor business isn't picking up.
Good Lord, but hey.
This thing's gonna get flagged on YouTube now. This whole video is.
Maybe. Deshaun Watson got his agents on us right now. But hey. Good Lord.
I don't know. I'm not expecting much out of Cleveland this year, but I will say this though: if they don't make the playoffs, Kevin Stefanski is fired.
Dang.
So that's just my take. What about your take with your Titans, Peyton? How are they
Yeah,
going to win the? Are they going to win the AFC South?
they're gonna win the AFC South. I don't care
No,
you call
they're
me
not.
biased or not. Everybody drinking this Jack Kool-Aid. I have seen everybody just all agree, like, yeah, man, they gonna go 14-3 and win the South easily. Not. It's the Jags. You talking about Cleveland's gonna be Cleveland? Jacksonville's gonna be Jacksonville. Come on, let's calm down. They were 9-7 last year and almost lost to a practice squad Titans team with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. I'm not impressed. I'm not sold. I'm not drinking the Jags Kool-Aid. Tennessee, everybody wants to count us out. They cleaned house of some bad players and brought in some good guys, and they've got a lot of guys mad. They have Ryan Tannehill who wants to prove everybody that, he's still got that 2019 in him. Derrick Henry's mad about the whole halfback situation, everybody calling him wash. DeAndre Hopkins is extremely mad because, everybody thinks he's wash. So you've got a lot of mad players on the Titans that are, wanting respect. Everybody's counting us out, and that's exactly how we like it in Tennessee. Please count us out because that's when Titans usually do the best. So they usually start the season off bad, so it wouldn't shock me if we lose in New Orleans with, Derek Carr and is a much improved quarterback from what Saints have had. So it wouldn't shock me to lose this today, but hey, I am a full believer in Tennessee. I don't know if I have the hype I used to that I'm saying like, we can make the AFC Championship, but I think Tennessee is a very much a playoff team. And yeah, Jacksonville's overrated right now. But hey, we'll see. I think they're going to get smacked next week about KC though. Just you can go ahead and book that right now.
Yeah, because Kansas City's pretty upset about the Lions.
Yeah. If KC doesn't beat the Jags by over 2 possessions, I'd be shocked.
All right.
I will just say this though: the most wanted man right now in Kansas City is the man of Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, that's.
Dude probably had to hire 24/7 security.
I hope you've saw the Giants fans having fun getting Darren Waller and whatever. Like, man, that's a bit rough right now. But hey, I feel bad, Darius, because I don't know if you saw it. He deleted his Twitter account and everything. I guess he got mad at seeing it all.
I don't blame the man. You everywhere you look, you're just to see your face plastered.
I will say thank you, Kadarius Toney. Because of you, the Chiefs weren't as interested in DeAndre Hopkins as they should have been. So thank you, Kadarius Toney, because there was a world where they went and got DeAndre Hopkins, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Thank you.
You want to give Super Bowl matchups week 1, and then we'll.
Hey, let's do it. That's bold.
I don't even really watch the NFL a whole lot.
Oh my gosh! Just pick some teams. Don't pick 2 AFC teams to get in the.
I can't even
Super
tell you
Bowl,
the last
though.
time I actually sat down.
Browns Titans Super Bowl. Let's go.
I can't tell you the last time I sat down and watched the whole 17 game season.
Dang.
Yeah, last time I actually was loyal and watched was when the Browns made the playoffs and they beat the Steelers.
In 2020.
Yeah, just not. The NFL to me just isn't the same anymore.
Dang.
NFL's better than college, but.
Huh?
That's another topic.
Not at all.
But. All right, so for my Super Bowl prediction, I will go with the Buffalo Bills being the AFC representative. The last year they were all the hype and they didn't live up to it. Now they don't have that much hype around them with Kansas City being what they are, and I just see Josh Allen having a solid year. I will take Buffalo out of the AFC. NFC is going to be a little bit of a surprise. It's make or break for this quarterback, but I think they got rid of a key piece, and they won't have to give the man the ball that much because he's kind of got old a little bit. But I will go with the Dallas Cowboys as my NFC representative. So I think they win the NFC East and make the Super Bowl. But then I would take the Bills over the Cowboys though in the Super Bowl. So my NFL Super Bowl champion is the Buffalo Bills.
You're saying an AFC East versus NFC East Super Bowl, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, for me, The Eagles are like just such a stacked roster. Like it's the
Yep.
most ridiculous thing ever. I think it's you almost have to pick them. Like they have to be the favorite in the NFC, especially with NFC. Not to talk crap about the NFC, but the AFC is so much like they have so much more power and are better than the NFC right now with all the quarterbacks in the AFC. Just absolutely stars everywhere. I think the NFC is a much better. It's a kind of a cakewalk compared. So I think Eagles kind of cruise their way to the Super Bowl. AFC, I was gonna say the Bills, Tuck, but for fun, you know what? I will predict an AFC East versus NFC East Super Bowl, and I'm gonna go. Man, this might be dumb, but we're gonna go. Hey, it's not as stupid as the Cowboys. The Cowboys ain't making the dang Super Bowl. I promise you that. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers and led Jets. I just think that team on paper is really good. Like it actually is really good if you actually sit down and look at it. And their problem last year was the MILF hunter himself was a bit rough. So now that Zach Wilson is a full-time MILF hunter and Aaron Rodgers is in town, I think the Jets will improve. I know Aaron's not his, prime Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers at this point is still probably a top dozen quarterback, and I think that's good enough for the Jets. They got a lot of talent coming in with Dalvin Cook to help. I think the Jets are going to be a fearsome team, and I'm going to say that Aaron Rodgers goes on a little, Brett Favre kind of run, I guess. We'll see if he can complete it for the Jets. But
Brett Favre
in
went to the
saying so,
Jets after the Packers and then leg folded. So
yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Uh, he's going to try to redo what Favre did, but better. But I will say. I'm not taking the Jets to the Super Bowl. I just think the Eagles are such a safe pick, and I'm going to go with the Eagles getting redemption and winning this one.
all right, Ron, you figure out who's in the NFL now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who's in the NFL. I'm just saying I haven't watched them, the NFL loyally, and ever since their political BS that they always start. But,
That's fair.
all
right, who's your picks?
So I agree with Philly. Obviously, fantastic Jalen Hurts. Think they're definitely going to be a top runner. But I'm gonna go with your Ohio rival there, Tuck. I think Cincinnati. Joe Burrow just got that huge re-up contract, and I think he's the Bengals, man. They've turned it around the last couple seasons. So I think the Bengals are definitely going to be one to mess with. I don't think it's going to be Cleveland. So I think the Bengals are going to claim their stake once again at the top of the Ohio
Now, who
list.
wins today between Cleveland and
Bengals.
Cincinnati?
Bengals. Why is that even a question?
Well, Burrow's hurt, but I don't know. I could see Cleveland run the ball over him. So and then
Well, they don't have Kareem Hunt anymore, do they? They dropped him, right?
Well,
They just have
Nick
Chubb. Well, yeah.
You got Chubb and Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford's our
Ooh.
backup. He's not bad.
Good job. You lost your dynamic duo.
Kareem Hunt lost a step. Jerome Ford's young. Okay, so we're good.
You're not running the ball.
Kareem Hunt did great things for Cleveland in
100%.
2019, 2020, but he lost a step. And there's a reason why he hasn't been signed yet to an NFL roster.
Fair. Unless he's in an elevator.
Dang.
All right.
At least he wasn't on Instagram last weekend. So.
All right, moving on. So.
Good Lord. Who'd you pick to win from the Bengals?
Who's going to win Bengals Eagles?
Philly.
Okay.
I will say.
You guys both on the Eagles. I'm on the Bills.
Yeah, I will say. Everybody talks about the AFC East being really stacked, and they are outside of the Patriots, but the AFC North is really sneakily really good because I could see any of those 4 teams actually making the playoffs. So good luck with that one. I honestly like the way I know it's preseason, but Pickens and Pickens look really good. I could see them taking a step up and being I'm not saying they're going to go win 10 games, but I could see them being that wild card hunt. So, hey, we'll see though. The AFC's stacked, so good luck Cleveland this year. Y'all got a really good roster, but it seems like y'all have a really good roster every year, and then the pieces never fall together. So, we'll see.
You said you're picking the Jets?
Yeah, I took the Jets over.
Let me see if he's active. He's playing. He was questionable going into today.
I took the Eagles over the Jets.
Because he's still their number one running back, right?
No, they got Dalvin Cook.
Well,
did they?
It sounds like they did, but it sounds like it's a 1A, 1B kind of thing for now.
Gotcha.
Kind of like how Detroit's gonna do it, I think, with Montgomery and Gibbs. Let's see. Is Brees Hall playing today? Brees Hall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Listen is questionable still. It hasn't been changed.
Oh.
Kadarius Toney is still healthy though. He had 1 catch for 1 yard.
And 13 drops.
Yeah.
I will say, interesting Titan news. Will Levis is inactive. That means they, even though they say they don't want to say it, that means Will Levis or Malik Willis. He actually won the second quarterback job. So that's interesting. Bold strategy to take 2 quarterbacks in a row. But hey, I mean, at least the odds say one of them should work out, right? Maybe.
Well,
hopefully.
they're both 2nd round picks, 2nd and 3rd round.
Malik
picks,
was
so,
3rd. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth the gamble. It's better than trading your whole franchise away. I mean, I'm not taking a shot at Cleveland, but it's better than trading your whole franchise away to try to take a young quarterback and then him not working out. Like, it's a really big risk. Like, I would rather have what we have invested in them in Levis and Willis than what Colts have in Richardson. That pick scares the crap out of me. Good luck with that one.
I'll just say this: I'd rather have freaking a young quarterback from this draft than Bill Cosby as my quarterback. So that's all I gotta say about that.
Dang. Hey, if Cleveland just really tanks, you can get a quarterback. Don't worry.
Then we have to restart all over again, and I don't want that to happen. So I'd rather them just run the hell out of Nick Chubb for the last 3 years, get a Super Bowl, than hallelujah rebuild after that.
Yeah, Super Bowl, huh?
Yeah, kill Nick Chubb the next 3 years and just run him to death, and then get a Super Bowl, and then
Some bold predictions.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Good podcast.
Y'all got anything else to add tonight?
Gentlemen. I think we're good. Tune in to Arnold 9 at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time to watch the Road America truck.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, no doubt about it. But that's gonna do it for this week's podcast here.
Cramps. Oh God.
Yeah. Lonnie's really gonna get cramps tonight.
Lonnie doesn't race trucks.
Well, Monday he's gonna get cramps. Monday, if he was cramping up at Pocono, he's in for a world. I heard it.
Lonnie's gonna pull a Jimmy Johnson going into turn 1 at Watkins.
Go right into turn 1. But all right, well, that's gonna do it. Tune in tonight, like Tuck said, at 8, about 8:15 for the Truck Series race at Road America. It's gonna be an interesting one. So we will catch y'all later. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a good